All right, it is that time. It is that time to start back here in the pocket dimension where we will be painting all the things. So here we go. Working on this month's monthly monster, the Chimera from, let's see, okay. Let's see. I've got an unstable. My connection is unstable, evidently. Weird. Alright. YouTube says it's an excellent connection. Twitch says it is an unstable connection. Very strange. Let's see if I can see things going on here. Well, I can see it on YouTube. I can't see it on Twitch. I'm going to refresh Twitch real quick. See what happens. YouTube seems to be fine though, so if you're watching on YouTube, very cool. You're in a good space to be able to see a lot of what's going on here. So I'm just gonna touch up these wings a little bit. I've got to get the bottom side of that one yet, and we'll touch up a little bit more, and then we'll go on. Maybe do some dry brushing. Weird. Still showing that I have an unstable Twitch stream. But YouTube seems to be right on board here. So if you're having trouble watching on Twitch, I guess hop over to yeah, so I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing that on YouTube, but I'm not seeing that on Twitch. Very strange. Okay. Huh. Weird. Okay. Looks like Twitch is just kind of lagging behind a little bit, or a lot bit maybe. So, all right. Well, let's carry on then and continue to paint the Chimera from Wizkids, Nolzur's line of figures. Get some black out here, and this big old number 3 brush here with the slightly badly formed tip, and we'll just pick up some water. We'll pick up a little water, pick up a little paint. And we'll just start getting some paint on the figure here. So, feeling a little bit better here. Went on a couple of service calls today. So that was good. It was helpful. I wasn't feeling too hot this morning, but it's kind of funny. The service caller really didn't feel up to doing today. Got there, and it was rainy and wet, and the utility came out, and the line person hopped out of the truck, and we hemmed and hawed, and we looked at things, and utility person looked at the roof, and there was a metal roof, and of course it was rainy. They said I can't climb up there to do that disconnect. So I said, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's look at the weather and reschedule this whole affair. So we're going to try again on Monday when the weather's supposed to be a little bit nicer and the ground is going to be soft. The ground was wet and soft, so they couldn't drive their truck onto the yard. So hopefully it'll dry out by Monday and they'll be able to make that disconnect from the bucket. And I'll be able to do my bit and get the people's power back on. They got power right now, but they got a low voltage. They got a voltage issue in their house. So lots of reasons why that could be. We're gonna try replacing the service cable first and see if that does it. Service cable, new ground wire, probably meter-based disconnect. It's probably something as simple as tightening down a neutral bar or something. But we'll give them the whole 9 yards. So make sure it gets done. Make sure it gets done right, where there's not going to be any possibility of missing something. Like I missed some of these spots here the other night on these wings. I'll probably do some wet blending on these wings as well. Do some gray or grayish brown, maybe dark gray. There's some really neat texture on this. It looks very leathery. So I'd like to try to preserve that as much as possible. So it's very flat, very flat black. I like it. Very dusty. Very clingy. Alright. Oh, missed a couple of spots right there on that edge. Let's go right there. All right. Get out the beige brown again here, I think, and do another layer on this lion here, just to see, because I think I missed a couple of spots here and right there, and back here I got a couple of places where I've touched it and it's worn off a little bit. Yo, Savage Brewski, how you doing, man? Folks, if you're not following Savage Brewski, give him a follow. He's got some really neat little videos on hobby projects, and he's done a few little reviews about some of the products he uses. Check him out on Instagram and YouTube both. How you doing tonight, Savage Brewski? Hope the November weather is treating you well. Of course, where you're at, it's almost always the same temperature. I've been where you are, so I know. How do you wake up every day to that, right? It's been Savage Brewski has been hard at it, putting his 3D printer through its paces so he can play some one-page rules. So that's pretty cool. I believe he's painting or building some building a Imperial Guard equivalent army for one-page rules. I believe it's the Human Empires or whatever it is, whatever their Human Guard equivalent is. So keep up with that project, folks. He's posting it up on Instagram. I think he's putting it out on YouTube a little bit too. Talked about some of his resin work that he was doing a couple weeks ago, making crystals and different little terrain items. So that's pretty cool. I use this medium sea gray again on this on these goat bits. See if we can get a little bit of blend going on in some places as well. So I want to get kind of a little bit of a blend going on between the lion parts and the goat parts here. So a little bit of color blending is not a bad idea. Pick up a little bit of that brown and work it back this way. Beige brown. Just work it back a little bit. Just feather it in there, just kind of a few little strokes here and there. Clean out the old brush. I'm going to put another layer of this beige brown, I think, all over the lion parts anyway, as it was a little thin anyhow. I have good solid coverage, really. So, of course, the lion parts, I'm going to go ahead and actually I'm going to do an ochre over top of that beige brown. So the ochre on the beige brown, kind of get a more of a tawny lion-ish color. Tawny, Tawny. Is that right? I'm sure there might even be better colors than the green ochre, but I don't know. I think it'll work. Although I really can't tell why this is green ochre. I can't tell there being any green in it at all, quite honestly. But anybody that's watched the channel for quite any time knows this is one of my go-to colors. So and if it blends in the wet a little bit, that's okay too. So now I've got a little bit of a curl to my tip. That's okay, but I do have a pretty solid, sharp tip, even though it is a larger brush. Excuse me. Which that actually helps me run the brush longer, because it holds a little bit more paint in there. So let's just go ahead and we'll start picking out some of this fur texture. We actually really are just going to be painting fur texture or fur pattern right on the flat bits. Anyway, and we'll let that beige brown be our shadow. Might even take it up to a little bit of ivory even. We're just sketching that hair in there. Just following the sculpt that's already there, plus some of the knowledge that I have of kitty cats. You know, their hair kind of goes in one direction on one side of their body, and then the other direction, the other side of the similar direction, the other side of the body too. But what I'm getting at is just kind of do the same thing over on this side. Just kind of build up that color. Weird. I'm watching over on YouTube, and I don't know if anybody's chatting, but the chat doesn't seem to be rolling for me over there. So I don't know if anybody's actually trying to chat in the YouTube side, but it's not showing up, unfortunately, for whatever reason. So I apologize if anybody's over there thinking I'm not paying any attention to them. Let me, I'll pop over to the backstage and see what's going on there. In just a second. Nope. Nope, I don't see anything. I don't see anybody chatting over there, so I thought I might have missed something, but all I see is yo yo from Savage Brewski. So yo yo back, right? Yo 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 ho. Yo ho yo ho. I forget. You can't do that much on YouTube with copyrighted song material. Crazy algorithm. Al Gore's rhythm is wacky over there, boy. All right. So we postponed that one service call until better weather. Today, with the rain coming down and me still being sick, trying to get over, really wasn't much interested in doing that one. And I went on another one this afternoon. That was alright. Got that taken care of, fixed up for him. Probably gonna go back on a couple other things that they had questions about. Just do a good job for them and get that done out of the way for them. It's funny what happens when people start digging into some of these places that they buy, and they start needing to do things, and they realize that they've got some things that people did over the years that were just not right. Hey, Miar, how's it going? Sir, he says. Hey, now, sir is my granddad. Nearing the end of woodworking table. Nice. Nice. So you built a new woodworking table? That's pretty awesome. If I understand you correctly, if I am remembering correctly. Adjustable saw table workbench is nearly completed. Nice. Buying last set of wheels tomorrow and screwing the rest to the floor and the torsion box top will be complete. Then I make room in garage and start gutting one of the bedrooms. Sweet. Nice. I'm looking forward to seeing those pics then. Very cool. That is an admirable project. Hopefully you can do a little woodworking and maybe make a little cash money on the side. Everybody wants a nice little table or a chair every now and then, you know. So that might come in handy. I'll looking forward to seeing those pics then. So I'm working on this Chimera for this month's monthly monster. So it seems we have 6 subscribers. So Miar, you got a little bit of competition this month. So well, it'd be really 5 subscribers that are eligible for it, since your boy Heavy T won it last month. So he has to sit out this month since he's got the luck of blades on his side. So this is what happens when you mix a goat and a dragon and a bad kitty cat together. You get a chimera. So, yeah. Yeah, he does. He'd benefit from it anyway, even if he didn't, right? If he wasn't. Well, let's do this over here. Let's thin up a little bit of this ochre here, and we'll do it on the back of this guy right here. I think I'm going to try to leave the mane this beige brown color. I may go back over and just throw a wash on that, and then just do a dry brush to bring her back up. Since there's already quite a bit of texture there, I'm not going to try to paint the texture in. Just going to go ahead and do that. Maybe a slightly darker brown for that mane. Maybe even mix in a little bit of a darker brown into that beige brown. Yeah, he's a tough fella. He is. He saw changes in his life that he needed to make, and he made them. So that is that's an ongoing project for him. So good for him. All right. Now let's see. We'll paint the kitty cat's face. Paint the kitty cat's face here. And if we get a little bit of paint in the wrong place, that's okay. It's just paint, we can go back over it. Boop the snoot. Alright, it looks pretty good. Let that dry up a little bit. We'll do another coat of red on the dragon bits. Oh yeah, well he's pretty candid about it on his Facebook page. I won't go into it because I don't know. I can't remember how private that is, but he has definitely seen the changes that he needed to make, and he made them. So I don't think that's anything that couldn't be said out loud. So let's see, where was that? Okay, there was a cinnamon red. So I used cinnamon red on the dragon. We'll do that. We'll do another layer of cinnamon red. And it may be a short show tonight, as I'm still trying to get over what's been ailing me here. And I got a big day tomorrow, and then a kind of a big weekend ahead of me too. So, supposed to run a paint and take. Now, 2 weeks ago, I was supposed to run a paint and take, and the front wheel of my car fell off. So I did not get to do that activity. So I need to get my car from the mechanic yet. So that's going to be a. I got to get my car from my mechanic so I can get to the paint and take this weekend. So, use Facebook for clubs and stuff? Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much. I keep in touch with some people as well on it. I've got 2 accounts. I've got one for my JP Gotrokkits, and then I've got an actual personal account that I keep in touch with my family, and it's kind of a little more personal account. Just kind of keep the 2 things separate, so it's, because there's some things you want to deal with family about that you don't want the whole world to see. Hey, Otto. Yeah, Myar. It was kind of like that. It was sort of like a oh crap moment. I was actually coming right off the highway too. I had just gotten off the highway and pulled in through the intersection, and yeah, Otto. Hey, Otto. I need to hit you up. I might need a hand getting my car tomorrow. Actually, it's right down there in Sciotaville, so. I'll give you a jingle during the day if you're around. If you could help me out after work there. Yeah, yeah, I could really use a hand there. Last time I got somebody from the shop to run me down, but tomorrow I'm going to be working in Cerrito, so I just need to work out that logistic. So. All right. Alright, so we got 2 good coats of red on the dragon bits. We've got 2 coats of brown on the lion bits, plus the ochre to get kind of that fur texture. And I've got some, and I'm going to go back and do some gray on the on the goat bits. So, yep. Yeah, very good. All right, let's see. Wet paint. Wet paint. And this is not the best stand. That was the one thing about the green dragon. I could put it on a stand and it would hold pretty well, but this stand does not want to is not really friendly. I mean, I'm going to have to do some work to get it to fit correctly. I'm going to set that there for a minute and let that dry. Yes, let it dry. Take a little bit of this black and just touch up where I wore it off with my poor little fingers. But yeah, I was driving through the intersection. I got off the highway, off the exit ramp. I was going through the intersection, and all of a sudden, it just went scrunch. And I said, "Wow, what in the world was that?" I thought maybe I had maybe a tire, you know, blew out on me or something. Because I do have a tire on that side of the car that sometimes likes to go low. But I got out and the wheel had come right off. The axle had been pulled out from the transmission. The brake line was just barely hanging on. And it was just a mess. That's all I can say about it. It was just a mess. So, fortunately, the ridiculously heavy work week that I had last week that got me into my sickness state here affords me with allows me to afford that repair. So all right, let's get a little more paint on the old goat head here. We're going to go ahead and put it on the goat head. Goat head, go ahead. Go ahead, goat head. Who you calling goat head? Got a little red is still a little wet there. Can you imagine this poor lion? He must be driven just to no extent of madness by having a goat screaming in his one ear and a dragon growling in the other ear. Poor fella. There's enough texture on the goat hindquarters here. I think a good white dry brush or very light gray dry brush will be just the thing to use back here. So that's pretty good. Got a little bit of that tan in the gray, but that's okay. That's all right. Animals have all sorts of little variations in colors on their in their coats, you know. So not gonna fuss it too much. Now the real trick is going to be his horns here. So I'm going to get some of this beige brown back out. Get some of this beige brown back out, and I'm going to do those horns. I'm going to give those horns a nice little undercoat. And the lion can't even scratch behind his ears. Yeah, that's a problem. Poor guy. He's got wings and two other critters blocking the way. Maybe he's got to deal with the goat, you know. Maybe the goat just goes back there and gives him a little nibble behind the ear. That could be, you know, that might be the case. You know, I wonder if I should just go ahead and glue this guy right down to his base. Anyhow, I wonder if I should go ahead and do that. Well, maybe after tonight I will. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Take some beige brown here, and I'm going to do a little undercoat on these horns. I think I probably should glue it to the. Probably should glue him to the. Glue him to his base. Probably should do that. Meh. Meh. And the goat goes meh. And the lion goes roar. And the dragon goes, I don't know, what would the dragon say? What does the dragon say? What does the fox say? What does the dragon say? We know what the fox says. The fox says ka-ding ding ding ka-ding ding ka-ding ding 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 ka-ding ding, or something like that. If I remember that silly song from, what was that? 12 years ago. Yeesh. All right. So I'm going to stop handling this guy for a little bit so I don't wear the paint off of him where I've got soft paint going. Soft and or wet paint. Which I've got just a little bit on his back there. Even with the primer, it's easy to wear some of that paint off. I'm going to go ahead and put some of this dark beige, or this brown beige, back here on this ruff that's coming out from his back. I think that's probably not a bad idea. I think we'll tie his mane into that a little bit better. Dragon says Skyrim is mine. Yeah. Bump, ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, bump, 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 ba-da-dum, 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 bump, bump, bump. A little Skyrim there for you. I guess I'm just not going to give old Pete Hollings a run for his money. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum, ba-da-dum, dum, da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum, da-da-dum. Yeah, I'm no Pete Hollingworth. Or Pete Hollings. All right. Let that dry. Let that dry up. Actually, I think what I can do, I'm going to set him off to the side. I think what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and paint this base. And I'm going to use hardened carapace as my gray base. Maybe pick up a little bit of this lighter middle tone here a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and paint this base and do that. Get that out of the way. And just slop it right on there because we're trying to cover a large area. And just even though it's a little on the thin side, that's all right. We'll work with it. 2 or 3 thin coats is always better than one fat, nasty, thick coat. But you could do some interesting things if you have looks like you could do some neat. So if I leave some brush strokes in here, if I was to leave brush strokes, if I thinned it down far enough where I could just start leaving brush strokes, it almost looked like the what you call it. The stone has some grain to it, like how you'll be on a piece of rock, maybe you go out on a hike or something and you find a piece of rock that has some weird striations in it that don't match anywhere else. It's kind of what it reminds me of right here. But we'll mix in some other colors. And we'll just kind of hint at maybe some of the colors that we use on the figure. Maybe we'll bring it out just a little bit. Because the color of the figure is kind of... Animals tend to be a little bit drab, So we're painting a lion and a goat. And the brightest thing on there is going to be the dragon. But the problem with that is the dragon is the brightest thing on there. Everything else is kind of blah and natural colored, So, and we're letting the wet colors blend together a little bit. Get some organic little mistakes in there, and that's okay because we have nature's not clean, right? So when you're painting natural things, it's okay to have blemishes. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to look, you're just getting color on there, and just let the color do what it wants to do. And you can manipulate, you can push the paint around a little bit here and there and just kind of play around with some of the effects that you get. Maybe add a little bit of dark tone, just a little bit where there's a little divot, you know. Or maybe add a little bit of a brighter tone to where it's a little higher. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're going for kind of a real, not really necessarily realism, but realistic. Sort of a model of realism. But there's nothing wrong with letting it look a little sloppy on the base. And kind of just letting some natural coloration sort of just work its way in there. So I'm adding a little bit of that beige brown into this lighter gray, because who knew dirt's brown, right? So adding a little brown, a little tan, bringing it up on some of these highlights here. And I don't want to necessarily cover up all the lighter gray or all the blended weird brownish gray that's already there. I don't want to obscure any of that. But rock has all sorts of interesting colors in it. It's not all monotone, necessarily speaking. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of letting your colors kind of play by themselves. Just guide them onto the base, you know. Just let them kind of do their thing. So a little bit of streakiness is not terrible. Just kind of leopard spotted in a little bit, you know. Just let it blend. No big deal. I'm going to take a little bit of light there, a little bit of this, and a little bit of that. Then we'll kind of just brighten that up just a little bit. We'll just brighten a few spots up. Just want to brighten a few spots up with that medium gray. Maybe even just a little touch of white even. Just build it up just a little bit. Anywhere where it looks like there's maybe too much of one color, just go ahead and break it up. Just break it up a little bit. Give it a little bit of interest. You don't want to necessarily obscure all the other colors, but there's no ratio of how much of one color in one area you should have versus the color in other areas. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Excuse me. I apologize. If you're wearing hearing aids, headphones, I apologize for coughing in your ear. All right. Now I'm going to take my hobby knife, and I'm going to reduce this down just a little bit so that it fits in this keyhole. See how it's shaped? So this is where the elbow on his front leg goes. And then this is kind of a keyhole to fit So I'm going to actually make that a little skinnier so it fits a little bit better. So he gets seated down onto this a little bit closer, a little bit better, a little more snug. So I take my a little more snug here. So might even cut a little bit of this away and that away. We'll cut a little of this away, cut a little bit of that away. Some people don't like flying bases with the stick that sticks up into the critter or soldier or whatever you've got, whatever you're trying to make look like it's flying. And that's understandable. But I don't know any other way you're going to do it, you know. So let's see how that fits. It might fit better, it might fit worse. Hopefully it fits a little bit better. Oh yeah. Yeah, that fits much better. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit his tail with some more heat. Well, I don't know. Let me see. Oh, that tail does clear just barely. It doesn't sit on the surface. That's what I was worried about, was whether it was going to hit the surface. So I'm going to go ahead and glue him on to his base right now, because there's no really good reason to not do so, because I think his belly's pretty well done. I think the inner part of his leg is pretty well done. I'm not really going to pay much attention to that, but I need something that I can hold on to a little bit better than always trying to do find some place to grab do-si-do and damaging the paint that I've laid down just recently. So go ahead and stick that on there. Alright, so now we're just waiting for the glue to dry. I think I should rename this channel. I think I should rename the show, instead of calling it Paint All the Things, I should call it Watching Paint Dry. I could use a little bit of the old Instacure here. We'll see if that does any good. kind of don't like Instacure, just because I feel like it crystallizes the glue in such a way so as to make it a quicker bond. It dries faster, but it's a little bit weaker, in my opinion. But I think there's enough glue in there in that join to where it's not going to be really too much of a problem. Okay. Now I get to hold it a little bit more, with a little bit more yeah. Yeah, that'll be better. Yeah, that's better, I think. All right. Now we can really go to work on this wee beastie. And I'm not having to worry so much about touching and retouching and everything. So of course now that dragon was a whole another story when it came to the base. That was one thing that I needed to do after most of the paint was done on that, so that's why I held off on that. And there's a lot of mold lines I did not get off of here, unfortunately. But this is quick and dirty. We're going to do it quick and dirty. We're going to get most of the ugliest, most noticeable lines off, you know. The colors are the wings are going to be black, just like this. Just like this. I may add a little bit of blue black. I may do a little blue black, maybe feather out some blue black. But they're going to be black, kind of leathery black. That's the idea. I wanted them to be more Batwing-ish. I mean, I guess I could give them the red of the dragon, but I think I'll wait and do... When I do a red dragon, I think I'll wait and do red dragon wings when I do a red dragon. Know what I mean? So I think I wanted to go more of a black leathery, sort of a natural... You know, I didn't want to have any one animal overpowering this model. So there's three critters all jammed together here. So I thought I might just let the wings be a completely different color, because I feel like if I've got more dragon than lion, or you know, if I did the wings as dragon wings, I feel like it would detract from the other animals. This way, I've got the head and the tail of the dragon. I've got most of the body is of the lion, and then I've got the hindquarters and the head of the goat. So I think that's probably not too bad for a good balanced approach to the figure. The red wing, if I did red wings, they really would pop. But I kind of like the wings to be darker. That way the wings are dark. They're there. They register, but you see the main figure because they kind of, you know, your brain is saying, "Oh, it's black. Let's not pay attention to it." Because a lot of times in miniatures, when we paint something black, it's like a shadow or an underside of something. It tends to be a lose this color. You know, we want to lose this, so paint it black. Well, we don't want to lose the wings, but I also don't want the wings to be the focus. And see, there's a big nasty parting line right down the middle of his face. I'm sorry, whoever gets this figure, I'm sorry I couldn't do anything about that parting line right down the middle of his face. That is just, I don't think it's really going to be much I can do about that one. All right, so what's next? What's next? All right, the dragon. Let's do the dragon. I'm going to get a brighter color red here. This is flat red. So we started out with the cinnamon red. So I think I want to go up to something brighter. So maybe the flat red, or what is this? Holly berry. Holly berry is a very bright red from Reaper. So maybe we'll go with that. Let's see, what else? What other colors I've got here? I've got some orange. We can maybe use some orange as some super highlights. That dark vermilion is a middle tone, maybe. I'm not going to worry about that. I think we'll just go with the holly berry. Yeah, that's going to be a nice bright red there. And we're just going to, I guess we'll just go ahead and dry brush that. I mean, why not? These figures like, that's one thing about the Nolzur's figures, is they do like the dry brush. So we'll pick up that red. We'll knock some of it off there. Lots of moisture in that particular red. We'll get it way down. Maybe more of an overbrush than a dry brush. Alright, so. It blends in a little bit too close to that, it would seem. That cinnamon red was maybe not as dark as I thought it was going to be once it was on the figure. Maybe we'll try something else. Maybe. Well, let's just go ahead and rinse that out and see if we can try something else. All right. Let's see. What else have we got over here? Oh, you know what? Well, we got some orange. We got some orange. Orange is a nice highlight color for red. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do that. Alright, so we'll use a little Monument Hobbies Pro Acryl Orange. And we're gonna do a little more in the way of stippling, highlighting, rather than just relying on just the dumb luck of the dry brush. Alright, so let's go ahead and just might even just mix some of that red into that orange. That might do it. We'll see. Because the orange might be a little bit too much of a step up. So if we go kind of a middle, more of a middle color. That might be a little bit better. Kind of hard to do on this pebbly skin back here. Kind of wants to go everywhere. We'll just catch what we can of it though. More of an impression, I guess. We'll just mix that into that red right there. Just blend that out a little bit. A little orange back here. And we'll just blend that in with that red. Yeah. Right there, we'll just get that nice highlight going on there. Maybe knock down some of that bright orange a little bit. Bring it a little bit further back to the red as opposed to the bright, quite so bright. Yeah, that'll look good. Looks pretty good. Same thing over here. We'll just kind of quasi dry brush it. We'll just drag it along there just a little bit. Not really a dry brush, but just a little bit, because there's some texture there that I just can't get to. We'll let it do what it wants to do. We'll just hit it with that orange right there. We'll let that red and that orange just kind of mingle. The leader will be like Azog the Pale Orc from The Hobbit. These are the beast's snagas. Okay. Skyrim on the hybrid from the Underworld movies. Sit down and figure out the other colors do on the orcs. Yeah, those orcs that you're working on look really nice. Lots and lots of pumpkins out there. Yeah. One of my orcs, I painted the skin off the hybrid like the Underworld movies. Yeah, I saw that, I think. These are the beast snagas. The leader will be pale, like the pale orc from the Hobbit. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. I can't wait to see those. I hope you put them in the Discord. Let's see, red that up a little bit. Red that up. Of course, this wing likes to get right in the way of where everybody wants to see. So I've actually got red ink, so I could probably take this orange and dot it all around and take some red ink and get some of that division back. Just let that do that. Let those colors mingle on there. Let's see. I think I'd like to put some stripes in his fin here. There we go. We'll get that dark red in there a little bit more. Get some striations going. Yeah, that's really what I'm looking for. Something like right in there. I'm getting striations. Not just stripes, not just lines painted on there, but really just kind of mixing striations in there. I think that gives a little bit more interest there and adds a little texture as well. Well, that sounds exciting. I can't wait to see the pictures when you put those in there, Myar. Excuse me. Looking pretty good, I think. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. Yeah. Yeah. It might work out all together. Got to decide for the rest. Think I should paint a couple of green ones. Sure. Nothing wrong with painting a couple of green orcs. That's the traditional color. That is the traditional color of the 40k orcs. Green seems to be the default color for critters of such nature. So that's a little on the subtle side, some of the coloration there. A little subtle. Maybe we'll punch it up just a little bit. Bring some of that. Bring some of that holly berry, bright red, up into it just a little bit. Then knock back some just a little bit right there. Orange, just to kind of get that pebbled skin back into the mix there, like that. Maybe bring some red just back in there, just a little. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. All right. Some of the more of this fin going down along his head here. Without getting that orange on anything else, you know. Orangish red. Yeah. I'm liking that fin. I'm liking that. Looking pretty good. A little orange here, a little orange there. Knock that down with a little red. Cool. Cool, cool. All right, let's see. For his underscales, I'm going to go with gray for his underscales. So I think I'm going to do underscales. I'm going to go ahead and use that same hardened carapace color that we've got going on right here. Still got quite a bit on the palette. So we'll use that. I mean, it's going to waste some already because of using it on the base. But I think I'm going to use that on his underbelly. Red dragon with green scales gray scales underneath. Why not? A lot of times people will paint the scales more in that brown kind of a color, or tan, bone kind of color, I guess you'd say. But since I already have so many things that are in that warm tan family, I think this will make a nice mirror to the goat body. Since the goat is going to get a lighter gray up to white, actually. So we're going to go with this brownish gray, and then we're going to go with a gray over top of that. So now, there we go. All right. That's pretty good, I guess. Let's go with this light gray, I guess. This is going to be Sky Gray. Sky Gray from Vallejo Model Color. Oh, I guess I should do his horns while we're at it here too. So his horns are going to be the same color as his underbelly. So So just painting away here. Didn't want to go to just a bone color because that's too much in the family of some of the other colors that are going on this figure already. Now maybe if I had a big giant red dragon, I might go with more of a bone color for his horns and underbelly plates, but for what I'm doing here, I think gray, dark gray to light gray is be just fine. All right, so that's good. It's almost 9 o'clock. Well, folks, what do you think? I kind of am feeling a little tired right now. And being I'm trying to get over being sick and I'm working, I'm going to work while I'm sick still. What do you say we put a bottle? What do you say we put a bottle in it for tonight? It's almost 9 o'clock, and we'll just go ahead and pick this up. Well, I would say pick this up Tuesday, but I think I got a job out on Tuesday, so we'll pick this up again next Thursday, I guess. So let's pick this up again next Thursday. Do I got a bottle? I think I'm going to bottle. I think I'm going to bottle this up for tonight. And I will see you all in a week next Thursday, because I don't think I will be back in time to do my do the stream on Tuesday. Tuesday and Wednesday I have projects in far distant land. So I need to get some rest tonight. Need to turn in a little early. Like I said, I'm trying to get over being sick. Plus, I'm working. So being sick and working is pretty much horrible. But they couldn't just let me die in peace. So anyhow, it's coming together. It is definitely coming together. And I can see some of the good colors right here on the video actually showing up. So that's good. I like that. I like it when the colors show up on the video. So, all right. Well, let's say goodnight to YouTube. Remember, everybody, And I'll say this to everybody, even if you're on YouTube. Oh, shoot. No matter how bad today might have been for you, the sun's coming up tomorrow, and the world is a better place with you in it. So, good night to YouTube. YouTube. As soon as it comes up here on the screen, I will shut down the YouTube stream. We'll say good night to YouTube. Come on, backstage YouTube. Where are you? Where are you at? All right. So good night to YouTube. And we're going to raid out on Twitch. I didn't want to clip that. I wanted to... I'm so out of it right now, I can't even get the right button pushed. Ugh, being sick sucks. Ugh, horrible. All right, let's raid out. Let's see. Gen Con TV is